Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Okay, so work's done and you're craving something spicy and salty. I know. What I do is snack on Blue Diamond wasabi and soy sauce flavored almonds. They're so good, and almonds are a superfood. Don't deny your cravings, eat them. Blue Diamond almonds. Crave victoriously.
Okay, so you're between meals and you're craving something sweet, right? What I do is snack on Blue Diamond honey roasted almonds. They're so good. And almonds are a superfood. So don't deny your cravings. Eat them.
Blue Diamond almonds. Crave victoriously.
When I had you, I treated you bad and wrong, my dear. But since you went away, don't you know I sit around in my house with my head hanging down, and I wonder Pop it. Big old freak. Big old freak. That was not how that was supposed to go. When I had you here. Why? I'm laughing.
Oh, wow. Welcome back to the Blackish Show About Nothing. Is Jaden XD.
Hey, niggas.
Watagwan, Brethrens, Mute, all of that. Ross Clot. Pussy
Blood clot.
Ross Clot.
Marijuana. Put a baby in ya. You know, that's what niggas like to say. I am here. And, you know, it has been an eventful week. It has been a rough week, but it's also been a good week. It's been a weird week.
Yeah.
It's been a really weird week, actually.
Right, so tell us what happened.
So I went to Houston, and I ate my titties off.
Yeah.
I did. I just ate and I ate and I ate and I ate. I'll try to put together some kind of small list of stuff, even though I just don't want niggas up in my spots like that. But I also am not, I can't respond to every message asking me what my favorite places to eat are in different places.
Yeah.
But I had a
niggas
good time.
Get a podcast and think you zag it.
I'm not. I'm not TripAdvisor. So, but I still love you all. I ate my face off. I stayed with our sis Nikki.
Yeah.
Had us a blast. We went to a wedding for my good homeboy from Harlem. Shout out to Tracy. And my good sis from Houston, Brittany, and they got married, and congratulations to them. They're coming back up east with us, cause Tracy he's like couture Dipset. He's very Harlem, but he's very chic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my nigga. That's my partner. Them. So
I'm into that.
I had a good time, though. I just went down and I chilled and I ate and I saw a couple people that I wanted to see, and I didn't get to see everybody I wanted to see, but I'll be back. No worries. got a couple pieces of rough news this week, but, we managing and we dealing. And Makosa's coming up tomorrow.
I forgot about that shit, but other people have been like, you going to Makosa? I was like, when is that?
Somebody asked me again today. Shout out to our listener who works at the store by my job. He asked me when Makosa was. I said Saturday. He said, oh my God. I said, don't worry, there's 3 more. But the first one is tomorrow. So if you want to come, get there early. I suggest you get there,
And the first one is always
litty,
lit.
several titties.
Yeah.
So, just imagine like a room full of titties.
Yeah.
That's how litty it is.
Yeah. I always have a wang dang. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you had a eventful but positive week.
How was your week?
It was odd. I had quite the few celebrity sightings.
Yeah, you did.
I ran into Lorenz Tate, and then
Shout out to Fran.
yeah, and then I ran into Omari Hardwick in the building where we were recording.
What was he doing?
I think he's recording his other podcast because he has a podcast.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say his album, and I was. Excuse me.
I will say that wouldn't be too far-fetched because every nigga that marries a white woman comes out with an album.
You know they do.
Because Mehcad Brooks definitely has an album out.
Absolutely. I don't know. I still to this day don't know what that haunted noise is.
I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, think about all the black men that's married a white woman. They all have albums.
Yeah, the producers maybe.
Yeah, same thing.
My spit a hot 13.
Yeah. Every
A hot
nigga
7.
every nigga that got a white girl got an album. Travis Scott?
Well,
Nope. Yep.
he had an album before he had a white girl.
But again, we don't.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the week was Stoops Biz.
Oh, you heavy on it today? Okay.
Trying to think what else happened.
I have 2 stories.
Tell them.
So I got my hair braided last week. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Amina. Amina braided my hair for the first time.
Amina Butterfly?
No. First of all, she cannot bring that toxic energy into my home.
Amina, baby, rockabye. Oh, be so crazy, rockabye. The best thing she's ever done.
With them little teeth. No, you can find her, Amina Imani. She's actually a comedian, and she has a podcast.
Like Amani Imani?
Amina, A-M-I-N-A-H, Imani, I-M-A-N-I, not E-Money.
Oh, like Faith and Kwanzaa.
Yes. So Amina happens to be a comedian. She also has a
couldn't
podcast closely associated with our good friend Alex English.
All sauce.
But she also can bolt your girl.
Yeah, you look real fresh.
Yeah, you see me. You see me.
You're giving A Keys,
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
You don't know my name.
These are just not lists,
And
but
I swear.
they're amazing. And shout out to her. So Amina came in the house. Because y'all know I can't go sit in no braid shop. I can't. Okay, I will pay for somebody to come to the crib.
Are you totes above that?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm above standing on lines. I'm above.
Oh, yeah.
Going to sit up in a braid shop now.
Due to contrary belief, I don't do lines.
like you think you too? Yes, I do. I do think I'm. Yes,
yeah,
I
I don't
do.
do lines of
And I don't care what you think, but I know what I think, and I know what I'm not gonna do.
Right.
So Amina came over to braid the head. She walks in. I hear her.
Oh,
crying.
we're recording outside, by the way.
Always. I hear her crying, laughing, coming up the hallway to the door. So I'm like, what the hell is that? Open the door. She's like, girl, I got a story to tell you. Mind you, Amina was a referral, and this is my first time meeting her. She comes in and tells me that her homegirl hired a cleaning lady. And the cleaning lady took it upon herself to eat one of the homegirl's edible candies. Was it a standard like 10 milligram candy?
No.
It was not. It was 40 milligrams.
Oh, mama was out cold.
She said her friends started freaking out. Girl, like, I'm gonna have to take her to, she gonna try and go to the hospital. She gonna try and sue me. Then it was like, wait a minute. Why was that bitch touching my stuff?
Yeah.
And who eats random pieces of candy lying around the crib? She said the lady had to call her husband, the babysitter. She thought she was dying. I said, well, let this be a lesson.
Don't be
Unto
eating
thee.
random people's, like, hey, you cleaning up after these people. Why the fuck would you eat from them? Like, you know what I mean?
Why are you touching my stuff?
Right.
That you're not supposed to be touching. That's not even being classist or anything like that. No, nigga, it don't matter who it is.
Right.
If you're not welcome to touch certain things or invited, then don't touch them.
Right.
You learned your lesson. I know if my ass stumbled upon a 40 milligram edible and I just know what that feels like. I know if I stumbled on that touching something I didn't have no business touching, I gotta eat that. No pun intended.
Yeah, she got what she deserved.
And I gotta let that rock.
Yeah.
That lady was high for 3 days, I'm sure. But that was hilarious. And then my second story. I took a chance on love
Okay.
and flew United. I usually fly Delta. And while you can't control all of your flying experiences, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know that I have had stories, aka the white woman on the way to LA. Still got it out for that bitch. Nigga, United is the ghetto. Now, I understand.
Really? I actually enjoy...
I don't enjoy them at all. I don't enjoy them. They don't have any USB ports at their seats.
I mean, to be fair, I only go use the gay airline if I can. JetBlue.
Oh, I love JetBlue.
Yep, gay airline.
But I use Delta for the most part because I have the most points with them. I have the second most points with JetBlue. Yeah. But I said I'm gonna try United. They're based out of Houston, so I said, okay, you know, it was better price. I got a troll online telling me, don't, my broke ass needs to stop flying Spirit because I was complaining about my travel experience.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's like, yeah, your mother flies Spirit, but I just don't prefer it at all. I don't ever have to fly United again. And I don't know if God was protecting me from something or if this was just karma for me being me. But I had the worst travel experience. Like, when I tell you the worst, next to the time me and Noah, I have only missed one flight in my entire life. And that was that time I told you, or it was me and Noah, and they scanned every pack of the baby food at TSA at Jersey. And then I ended up, the man wouldn't take me to my gate, and people were telling him to take me to the gate, and he wouldn't do it. That was the first time I ever missed a flight in my life. Okay? Your girl was on time. I was packed. I was ready to go. Called the cab. Cab took 8 minutes to get to me. So I'm like, what is going on at this time? Took 8 minutes to get to me. That is long for New York. Like, that's long. Took 8 minutes to get to me. I pulled up Waze. Now, this is just a tidbit for anybody who doesn't use Waze. Waze will tell you exactly how fast the car is going. And at first I thought maybe we had hit like a little traffic and he was driving a little slow because there was no point in him trying to speed through a bunch of cars. And he asked me when I got in the car what time my flight was, you know, what terminal, all of that. But I realized that my nigga was driving 22 miles per hour the entire way to the airport. Not JFK, LaGuardia. So he puts me there, no bullshit, 23 minutes past the original destination time.
Wow.
So then, I'm like, all right, I'm by the skin of my teeth at this point. I'm not checking the bag, thank God. Security is not long. Thank God. Get to security. Of course, they're like, you have something in your waistband. No, I don't, but pat me down. Just get it over with. I'll spread the legs. I know the speech. Just do what you got to do. They go through it. They pat me down. They realize ain't nothing. It was just some sweatpants. And then, of course, my bag gets pulled because it had microphones and shit in it. So my bag gets pulled. There is no officer there to search the bags. All the officers are searching the people or standing. I said, can somebody please look through my bag? My flight is getting ready to take off in like 20 minutes. I just need somebody to please look in this bag. I know exactly what's in there. Let's go, please. Yeah. Nobody. I don't know what an officer is who's supposed to be looking through the bags. So the bags are piling up at this point of the people who got buzzed through TSA. 12 minutes I waited for a TSA agent. 12 minutes. I sat there and watched the clock. 12 minutes before Ricardo came and strolled over and was like, "Mommy, which one's your bag?" And I was like, "Can you please act like there's some urgency here? My flight takes off soon." He's like, "Don't worry, you gonna make it. You gonna make it." Pulls my bag, looks at the mics, puts them back in. I grab my shit. I walk up to my gate, literally right behind an old white man. Okay? Not old, but older than me. White man, yeah. They're scanning his pass. I'm like, okay, boom. I literally made it by the skin of my teeth. I'm the last person. They scan his boarding pass. They tag his bag because they say it's too big for the overhead compartment. And they let him in. Then they turn to me and go, "We're closing the doors." I said, I was right behind him. Right. Like, I walked up right behind him. We give the seats up 10 minutes before. 10 minutes before. I looked down at my watch, 3:30. My flight left at 3:40. So I said, okay, it's 3:30 right now. So when did you give the fucking seat up? Because I've been standing here now for 2 minutes behind this man while you tagged his bag and scanned him in. Right. And they're like, our clocks are faster. Wow. That's literally what they said on God. I said, okay. Now I'm starting to learn lessons from myself. So I didn't cuss nobody out in that moment, but you know I was livid. Between this cab driver, TSA, and now this, you better go on the read and give a rant. My head was about to explode.
Get you on a plane.
But I wanted to make sure I got on the next flight, so I didn't say nothing. When I'm like, come on, and she's like, no, I cannot. So she takes me over to the counter. I'll rebook you, but she was mad dismissive and rude about it. So then she tells me the next flight is 5:30. I'll put you on that one. Oh, but it's delayed to 7:05. I waited till she booked me, till she gave me a pass and handed it to me, and then I grabbed it and I said, "I would really love to kick you in the face." And then I turned around and I went to the Hudson newsstand to go buy something. I hate her, and I'll remember her face for the rest of my days. But it was the worst travel experience. It was, I got on live and I was like, listen, if you're not ready to be hateful, then leave. Because this is where we are right now. This is where we are dwelling right now.
Yeah, it's okay to stew and hate.
Yeah, I know. I stewed in hate that day. Yeah. But, I made it, and it was fine. And I had a grand time, and I saw the homies, and, engaged in the Swedes, and, saw my niggas get married, and it was great. But anyway, those are my stories. You playing this show for today. What you planned on this show?
I can't tell you, but we're going to take a break and talk about some TV because I know you guys have been waiting. And I do want to, a couple episodes back, we said anything involving certain programming, we know.
Oh, yeah.
Or we know probably about weeks ahead of you. Mm-hmm. So it's all good. Like, oh, did you see? Just already know that Jada and XC, we got this. We got y'all.
We got y'all.
All right, can y'all talk about
black children in our hands?
Yeah, just wait on them. Wait on the Lord. Wait on Jada and XC. We got y'all.
You see our white hands? Yeah. Be the black children on top of them.
Yeah,
we got y'all.
Yeah, we got it.
The allergies.
I know. Let's take a break, and we'll be back after these messages.
The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'.
Okay, so you're between meals and you're craving something sweet, right? What I do is snack on Blue Diamond honey roasted almonds. They're so good. And almonds are a superfood. So don't deny your cravings. Eat them.
Blue Diamond almonds. Crave victoriously.
And we're back. So I guess we could talk about this raggedy ass show. Did you watch it?
What?
Game of Thrones?
You know I did. I actually had to bid adieu. I had to do an Irish goodbye at the wedding. I told maybe 3 people, I said, I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. Bye.
You call it Irish goodbye. I call it Black Fatherhood.
Boom, boom. Sindal booking inquiries.
I'm going to cancel for that one. Listen, it's okay. I'm from the 80s. Like, I was born in the 80s. I didn't have one. I don't have one of those.
It happens, man.
But that's foreign to me. Yeah, I don't really...
I have a story, but it's not funny, but it's funny to me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's like, it's along the same lines.
Okay.
So, one of my close family members, one of my uncles is a crackhead, right? Has been for like a long time.
Crackothapien, yeah.
He's a crackhead.
We're honoring them as a human, yeah. Because they're people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crackhead. So, I go visit some family and I'm sitting down and I'm like, how's so-and-so doing? and the thing about it is, let me preface this with, since I was a little girl, I have always known when this particular person would fall back down the rabbit hole.
Uh-huh.
I just knew. I would know every time. I just knew.
Yeah.
So I said, and I know now, and I have ways in which I can figure it out, even though I keep myself very distant from everybody. So I said, how's so-and-so doing? They said, oh
no.
I said, he's back on? And they were like, yeah. I said, listen, can we stop dancing around this? This nigga has used crack for 35 years.
That's probably what's keeping him alive.
So everybody gets silent for a second. They're like, yeah, he's back using again. And I was like, he's literally been using crack for 35 years. Like, we can say it. It's okay. He's a crackhead. He's a functioning crackhead, but he's a crackhead. He's a low-key functioning crackhead.
I mean, he's alive. He's not.
He's alive.
He's not harming anybody. He's not harming himself or anybody else. It doesn't seem so.
He's harming himself, but
sure. I don't know. Crack keeps people alive.
Nah, that nigga's harming himself.
Speaking of crack, did you see the preview for TV One's El DeBarge? Did you see the? Oh, live reaction.
Okay.
Hold on. Before we get into that raggedy ass show.
Oh, for quite a while. You're on my mind every day and every night. My every thought is you.
Just press play.
The things you... What
is going on?
What? The lace front? Is that Richard Pryor? The Bobby DeBarge story? Please tell me that's not the real. That's the promo?
Yeah.
That's really the promo? That's the music?
Yeah.
This is not the internet.
No. It's for real.
Oh, bitch, we are watching that and recapping.
You didn't see the all the pictures?
No.
From...
I haven't really been interneting like that. posted a couple
Oh,
stories.
that's fair. But like, this was something that I was like,
Good. I can't believe
like,
they.
see what they did to Bobby DeBarge.
Is that's not that's.
Mm-hmm.
She used to do my eyebrows.
All right.
Back in the day, her name was Tina.
All right.
It's the first lady who waxed my eyebrows.
Yeah. Like they have different pictures. Like
Wow, look at okay.
Lloyd is in this, which I just don't understand.
Elmer?
Like 5'2" or 5'2".
Yeah.
Like I don't. Okay. I just thought you should know.
We're definitely gonna watch that.
Absolutely. Because
I was always wondering what happened to Tina.
Okay. So Game of Thrones, right? How did you feel?
I felt like they rushed the shit out of it.
Yes.
So these niggas did a whole like. Me and Nikki were talking about that, and that's what they did. They did like one of those like. At the end of the movie, you got the still, and it's like the white letters that tells you what like so and so went on to become an engineer, and
Yeah.
and it was like
the end of Hidden Figures.
So I'm hearing about
Yeah.
these 3 spinoffs, and I'm like, wow, 3 spinoffs are coming when you could have just fucking made a season 9 and not rushed this shit.
Yeah. They took 2 years to give us that.
They took 2 years to basically tell us that, like,
Niggas is busy.
hey, we're ending this with a Brexit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I like when we were watching it, I was like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. Sure.
Tyrion was talking
Yeah.
way too much.
I was like, sure, Jan.
I dozed. I dozed
I mean,
for a
he's a
second.
master manipulator, I'll tell you that.
Oh, no, he is. I went back and rewound, but I dozed.
And you know, you can tell when they're setting up actors for like the Emmy win and whatever.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I get it. You're giving us these monologues.
It was way
and-
too much Tyrion monologue, honestly. Yeah. I want to know. So, okay, let's just start.
So, you know, Daenerys and Drogon, the real star of the show, which we will get to.
Let me just tell you
Sally Field
the one fly scene. The one fly scene was when Daenerys stood up and Drogon was behind.
Oh yeah.
Why did somebody? Did you see that? I did see a tweet that said, you know, naming that dragon Drogon was one of the laziest things they ever did.
Like,
they were
my dog Dag.
Yeah,
me my dog Dag. I was like, that is
me my
true.
cat Kit. Like, what?
Right. So, like, you know, she done torched, you know, all of Biloxi, Mississippi.
Girl.
And so she's just making... We're back to, like, Lisa Ling down at Ground Zero.
But this time it's Tyrion.
Yeah, and, like, walking through, giving us play-by-play of what happened. The King's Landing, the aftermath. Next on CNN.
They already knew you dark-hearted bitches who love Cersei were gonna be like, Cersei not dead! Cersei coming back! Like, Cersei, they're not gonna let my girl go out like that. They said, let's just clear this up in the first 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Look to your left. I looked over to the left.
Right. And then she was dead than a motherfucker.
I can't say motherfucker.
I also realized that Cersei and Nene are the exact same person.
You did say that.
Yeah, they did. They are. They say the exact same thing.
The same wigs.
Yeah,
same stance.
Same stance.
Same glass.
Same disposition.
Yeah. Thoroughly.
Yeah. Yes, thoroughly. That's exactly what they are. But anywho, they're doing this like tour of like King's Landing, which happens to look a lot like Winterfell now. But
yeah.
No shade. And so they're just like, oh fuck, fine. So then Grey Worm. Shout out to a nigga making it to the last episode. Westeros so white.
Yo, but Grey Worm is done.
Yeah.
Your boy is finished. He don't got no more fucks, no more
he's
nothing.
He's like one of those soldiers who went at war and then came back and they need like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I got from it. I was like, this feels like men who come back from the war and they need like intense psychotherapy and because it's like John was like, you don't have to do this anymore. Like I'm honoring my queen, but nigga, they all dead. Where are they gonna go?
He reminds me of like the ones who are willing to like go themselves behind the loyalty.
Yeah,
but not in a good way.
Yeah. And so, anywho, they were like, okay, we got to go talk to Daenerys. So they go find Dany, and she got on some new threads. She went to Fashion Nova because that's the exact same outfit that Cardi has in her new line.
She found another black girl.
Yeah. And she addressed her new kingdom, which
I
was
low-key
just a
think
bunch of
Drogon's the one who started braiding her hair, cause
yeah. So anywho, she's like, I'm here. I freed everybody. I'm here to free the world, and yada yada yada.
Drolskranga, Berigshigalar, Picholo, Aramarura. Fangawi, Horgen Morgendorfer, Rigatoni, Pappardelle, Cacio Pepe, Macaroni, Ravioli. That was her speech. Burrito, Boro, Mesa, Corazon. Oui.
Oh my god.
Yo, she came out speaking that shit, and I was like, oh, why they put the subtitles? They don't even exist. Just have her speak.
Right. She was speaking to her people in Dothraki, or Valerian, which I hate.
They should have just hired me. I can speak that shit too.
I don't even know where I could go at. So anyway, after that, she banishes Tyrion.
Oh yeah, because your girl's on her high horse.
Yeah, and like, anywho, Jon goes to see Tyrion in lockup, which really just looked like a regular room somewhere.
Yeah, they just had him in holding.
Yeah, and Tyrion was like, "Listen, you got to kill the bitch."
Yeah.
So, and he's like, "No, she's gonna be great." Like, and Tyrion's like, "Nah, like, nigga, like, shut up, like, just do it. You need to be king. One of
the best things he said in that scene was when he was like, because Jon was like, he was like, she did blah 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 da, 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 and Jon was like, she had to trying to defend her even though he knew it was some bullshit, and then Tyrion was like, so what would you have done had it been you?
Yeah.
And Jon, your boy got extra Jon, like extra pensive,
like exactly.
Like he was that meme. He was like,
right. Like, because Jon just wouldn't the start. Well, he wouldn't do that. And, like, and Jon really kept trying to fight it and whatever. Yeah. And Tyrion was like, okay, girl, whatever. Like, I tried. Next scene, Danny is, touching, her new Iron Throne.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this is cunt. Like, I'm into
Oops,
it.
there goes my sword up over my skirt.
Oh my.
Oops, there goes my shield falling to my feet.
Oh my.
Ooh, some kind of touch caressing
My braids. Oh my.
Ooh, I'm turning queen. Who could this be?
Oh my.
She looked over to the left. To the Iron Throne.
Yeah, it did. And so she gives like, oh my gosh, like, and then of course, John appears and is like, hey, and she's like, oh my God, you're here. She's like, just be with me.
Neff
We can
Boo.
rule. Yeah, Neff Boo. We can rule the world and be good.
Yeah.
And John is like, well, how do you know what's good? She's like, well, I know what's good for everybody. And that's when he was like,
Oh. Tyrion was, I got to kill you.
yeah, I have to kill the bitch. This is crazy. And you can see it in her eyes, like, and of course, like we all know the arc. Like this was kind of supposed to be this way,
Right.
But anyway, and then he's like, I love you, my queen, and then he stabs her,
He's like, I love you, and I'll always love you. You'll always be my queen.
which is the only things that he's ever said in this last season. Like he hasn't said anything else, but
No.
I love you. She's my
He
queen.
just frowns and says,
I
I
love
love
her.
you.
She's
She's
my
my
queen.
queen.
Yeah.
She's my queen forever. I don't want to be king.
Yeah.
So he starts
stabs
kissing her.
her.
And then I don't know if niggas got confused. Like they thought about Cersei and Jaime because, I thought Jaime was going to kill Cersei. But it was very obvious and very rushed.
Yeah, like we all saw this coming.
We saw it coming immediately. Like they start tonguing down. You
I
know
was
what I'm
hoping
saying?
like all of a sudden Arya came in the back and was just like, click, yeah, right in like the back of the neck.
If Arya snuck up like Tommy on the last episode of Power where he shot Angela.
Okay, I don't get that reference.
So Tommy, the white boy, shot Ghost's girlfriend, the Latina girl.
Oh, the feds.
Yeah, he shot her while they were embracing downstairs. And he was upstairs. They were like in an apartment stairwell or something. And he shot down. And you saw her getting, so the last scene is her getting shot. And then Ghost like screams, ah! And then you look up and Tommy's like,
You know, this is the last season, so we should recap it.
Hell yeah, nigga, I have been trying to recap Power for seasons.
Okay.
Niggas was not trying to get on my nigga level.
You're right. But I feel like because the final season, I don't want to be without, I don't want to be outside.
You want
of
to
the
talk about a
zeitgeist.
recap? That's a recap for your black ass.
Yeah, but then we'll also have like that and Love After Lockup or Life After Lockup,
Well,
which can't wait. June.
oh my god,
So excited.
couple weeks.
Yeah, can't wait.
Oh my god, counting
Show of the
down.
summer.
Alarms set.
Yes. Anywho, and then the greatest scene of the season so far.
So John stabs her, right? Boom, that's not it. Starts bleeding out her mouth. Weird. At her nose.
Yeah, like she OD'd on
Right.
heroin.
Yes, like the girl in that one episode of True Life
Yeah.
who was eating ice cream cone and fell asleep, shooting up in the neck. It was bleeding in the
That's the
parking
very
lot.
first episode with Serena Alshul.
Yes.
Shout out, Queen.
Yo, that was good TV. Now that was good,
Good
TV. We could have
TV.
been the ultimate recappers had
Yes.
a podcast been invented.
Hello.
So,
We would have been on a listserv back then.
What?
Netscape, motherfucker. But anywho, yeah, so okay, Mad Queen died.
Mad
And
Queen
then
died. Drogon. Lazy name steps up.
gave us an Emmy award-winning performance. It was the exact same performance that Sally Field gave us in Steel Magnolias.
It
Where
was.
she was like, I just want to hit somebody. I just want to feel bad, like have other people feel bad just as much as I do.
Yeah.
And then when Clary was like, hit Weezer, hit Weezer. That's exactly like Iron Throne was Weezer when like and Drogon was Malin.
I don't get that reference.
You never seen Steel Magnolias?
You ask me this at least every second
For
or third
someone who has
episode.
seen Fried Green Tomatoes, I'm surprised you've never seen Steel Magnolias. First
My
of all,
spirit can
it's
only
got-
handle so much of
First of all, it
that.
has all of the girls that
Is
you
Kathy
enjoy.
Bates in it?
No, but Olympia Dukakis is in it. Shirley MacLaine. You like Shirley
I
MacLaine.
know.
Sally Field. Who doesn't like Sally Field?
Yeah, who doesn't like Sally Field?
Yeah, and if you don't, like, that's a
You're
problem.
weird.
Yeah,
That's you. That's
and
all
she's
you.
giving iconic performance.
That's a non-problematic
Julia
white woman.
Roberts.
I do. That's also an unproblematic
Right.
white woman.
She
has really minded
Dolly
her
Parton
business.
is in it.
All right.
And Daryl Hannah.
Jolene. All right, I'll watch it.
And Dolly Parton gives like big Ange teas in the movie.
I will go get myself a couple bottles of Arbor Mist and sit down one day and watch the movie.
It's so good. Fine ass Dylan McDermott is in it. White man's whore. And anywho, back to the story at hand.
So Drogon, he feels that his mama just died.
Yeah.
Like, he knows.
And he knows that John killed her.
He knows.
Because he just looks at him like...
So
"Nigga,
he
you did
stepped
this."
up like the dinosaur in Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. And he's looking.
He said... He sniffed like in that Jill Scott song. He sniffed. He sniffed and sniffed and then replied, Raheem, right? Right. Exactly what happened.
He's like,
He noticed. And he starts to cry.
So at first, you see the fire start coming up, and I was like, they are not about to let Jon die by this dragon.
Well, he can't because he's Targaryen, so he can't get burned.
So he can't get burned.
Right.
But Drogon was like,
If she can't be on the Iron Throne,
nobody can. Destroy. Dracarys!
Dracarys! Papa Pepperoni!
Bambino Totino! Burn that shit to the ground. Melted the fuck.
Did.
And then
like a
picked up
candle.
his mother
And took her away.
to, I don't know where.
Probably give her a proper fume.
It's just gonna be him and her?
He's doing the body.
True. True.
I part of me doesn't even feel like she's dead. I feel like he took her to some like mythical place where there's like a dragon stone and he healed her like a Pokemon. But
I can see that.
yeah, because I mean nobody ever like people die on this show, but like none of the people like John's been dead like 9 times.
This is true.
Yeah,
This is true.
yeah. John's like a cat, 9 lives.
He is.
But anywho, afterwards they're like, all right, well, we got to have a council. Some other shit happens, like Brienne is mad and she has to
But they
finish.
let my girl Brienne come back and put some clothes on, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and so they get to this like, they're in King's Landing, and it's like the Starks, people from like everybody in Westeros is having like this meeting, and they're like, well, who's gonna be king or queen or whatever, and so one of them nominates himself, and everybody's just like, LOL, sit down, nigga. Samwell is like, we should have a democracy, and everybody's like, LOL, sit down, nigga.
Shut up, nigga. You should have been dead a few episodes ago.
Right, and that's when the show turned into like real like 2016 election for me. And I was just like, all right, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, Bran should do it. This is where I was like, Bran?
Shout out to Claude from Louis York, who was like, I'm still pissed they let Raisin Bran be the king. It's like, me too. 2 scoops!
Yeah.
Pissed.
They let Bran the Broken, which, by
What
the
the
way...
fuck is that name?
We'll get
What?
to that.
And they kept saying it. Bran the Broken. And I was like,
And
he's
Tyrion
like,
says it first, like when he's like, Bran should do it. Like you giving a lot of nigga power who's supposed to be a prisoner, giving y'all ideas.
right. He's supposed to have been dead, but
Right. And even still, and in the midst of it, everybody's like, say aye. Everybody's like, yeah. And Sansa's like, his dick don't work.
Brexit.
Right. But she was like, if this works, it's about to be 6 kingdoms because the North will not.
The North is going off on its own.
Okay. We're going indie now. We're no longer a part of a label.
Yep.
I want to represent myself.
They're
Which
like-
was dumb because I'm like, she's like, we won't bow down to anybody else. But I'm like, but Brandon's your brother. So it's like, why?
I did not understand.
Right. But I'm like, I get it. Whatever. At the end, and then they banished John
Right.
to go hang out with Tormund, which really wasn't a bad thing. They put him on Night Watch.
And he was on, he went to go reconvene with Direwolf, like...
Oh, with Ghost. But the thing is, like, what's the point of Night Watch if the Night King's dead?
This is also true.
So they just he's just wandering in the woods with Tormund.
Yeah.
His homeboy.
Yep.
From work.
Yep. Essentially, he's king of the banished.
Yeah. He's wandering with his homeboy from work. So he's like, okay, that's cool.
He's
like,
all right,
Tormund's like his old college roommate.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, they
like,
connected and they linked back up after they got
like
some
his
jobs.
line brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep,
Like
he
his
let him
line
sleep
brother,
on his couch.
Like his LB.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And then Bran became, king. I guess it makes sense because,
They did banish him to a life of no pussy and no enjoyment.
And it's like he could see everything. He knew what the fuck was supposed to happen all along.
Yeah.
So he was like, when they were like, "Are you up to do it?" He was like, "Yeah, nigga. Why do you think I was
like,
waiting?"
why do you think I'm here?
Right, like, duh.
Hello. You want to wait for the spicy chicken? Bitch, why you think I came all this way?
Right, like y'all should know. Bran knew what the fuck was going on with the goings on, but whatever. Lady Sansa became queen, like she always wanted to be, and rule her people.
Yep.
And Arya was like, well, niggas, I'm out.
I'm about to go Christopher Columbus this shit.
Mm-hmm. To Westeros.
Yeah.
The rest. And that was it.
That was it.
Oh, yeah, and Tyrion became Bran's right hand, even though he was like, no, kill me. He was like, no, this is your punishment. You have to help me.
So clearly, this is the 3 spinoffs.
I think one is a prequel. I think one is dedicated to Jon.
Okay.
And I don't know what the other one is.
Of course.
Yeah, people love Jon.
They love Jon.
Although George R.R. Martin's favorite character is Tyrion.
Okay. Well, clearly.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Clearly. All that dialogue.
Right.
Even though, it's not him, but
Right. But yeah, I don't have many thoughts about it. I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. Like, I would have been okay with this if this was fleshed out.
I will
much
say,
more.
I've seen worse finales.
Yes.
Amber said it. Dexter was worse. Sopranos.
Lost was worse.
I didn't ever watch Lost. Sopranos. Sopranos was awful.
I'm trying to think what happened at the end of... Yes, when he was... Yeah. But I think they left it open because I felt like at some point... Well, we can't ever have it now because James Gandolfini is gone.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I know, that's crazy.
He was so, young. What is going on?
I don't know.
Soldiers don't go to hell. It's war. Soldiers, they kill other soldiers. We're in a situation where everybody involved knows the stakes. And if you're going to accept those stakes...
Anywho, but yeah, there's been really bad series finales. And I'm like, this wasn't the worst one.
It wasn't the worst one, but I understand.
I understand.
I
was
sit
like,
in your
all right,
disappointment
cool.
and underwhelmment.
Yeah. But anywho, that was that. I haven't finished, Jailbirds Are Dead to Me yet. So as soon as I do, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, same.
Let's take a break and we'll be back.
The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'.
With the new iPhone SE for less than $100 at Metro, you rule. It's the most affordable iPhone on the #1 brand in prepaid. So whether you're studying online or FaceTiming.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, dear. The iPhone SE has all you need. Switch to Metro and get the iPhone SE for $99.99 after rebate redemption and 6 months of service with AutoPay. Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day. Limit 1 per account/household. Requires port and ID validation. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
And we're back, and this episode is brought to you by Myro. Myro delivers obsession-worthy, naturally effective deodorant that looks as good as it smells. They make their natural deodorant with a custom blend of essential oils that release over time to keep you fresh and barley powder to keep you dry. Their formula is hard-working, long-lasting, with no toxic anything. 0% aluminum, 0% parabens. Their ingredients are clinically tested for safety and efficacy. Here's how it works. Choose your scent and the color of your case. Get a refresh every 3 months, delivered straight to your door, conveniently timed for when most people run out. Switch scents, press pause, or stop literally anytime you want. Now, I forget, I'm wearing it today, actually. I forget what the scent is, but I feel like it's like bergamot in it. It's really good.
Mine is so fresh.
Yeah.
I was like, this smells so good.
And, with natural deodorant, there is a curve with it. You do have to detox with it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy this one. And there's not too many natural deodorants that never really work for me, but this has kept me dry all day because your girl is sweaty.
Well, my pits, they've been off the stuff for quite some time now. You know what I'm saying? They're celebrating quite a few years of being clean. But I love to try different natural deodorants, but the problem with me is that I'm very sensitive. My road did not break me out, and I smelled amazing.
Yeah. So get 50% off your first order and get started today for just $5. Visit mymyro.com/JXD and use our code JXD. Again, get 50% off your first order and get started today for just $5. Visit mymyro.com/JXD and use our code JXD. You can always find our links to whatever we talk about or advertise in the show notes, in the description box wherever you're listening.
Yes.
So Jay doesn't know what we're doing today, and neither do you until now. So today is about firsts.
Okay.
And I realize as we get older, we don't get to experience a lot of firsts, right? Like, because we've kind of done a lot of things already. Mm-hmm. If you're lucky in life, you get to do a lot of things for the first time early enough. So I decided to talk about firsts in our lives.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you things. So, yeah.
When was the last time you did something for the first time? Yeah. Let yourself go and follow that feeling. Maybe something new is
what was your first school?
Oh, man. My first school.
Yeah.
Was actually a home daycare. It was my mom's friend, and we would go, and because at this time, I think pre-K was around, but I did not go to pre-K. Mm-hmm. And so we would go.
Wasn't around when we were kids? I don't remember. Pre-K was like a new thing, like in the 90s. I never heard of that shit.
And I would go, and we would have hot lunch every single day, like hot lunch. That was actually where I discovered that I hated beets. Yeah. I've learned to appreciate them a little bit more as I get older, but that's where I really learned that I hated beets. Mm-hmm. But I call it my first school because she was so focused on, like, educating us and getting us ready for school. And so I was reading before I got to school. I was doing all of that because of her. So that was my first school.
My first school was at my grandmother's house. Because we didn't have no pre-K or whatever. Or that was...
Or maybe we didn't go to pre-K.
Or maybe we didn't go. We didn't go. That had to be what it is. Because my cousin went and he was born 2 years after me. I
just don't remember pre-K.
Yeah, we didn't. My mother... And I feel like if you had somebody like a good babysitter or like a grandparent or somebody, like that's just what you went to. But anywho, my first school was at my grandmother's house. She taught me how to read. Mm-hmm. She taught me all the valuable things I needed to know because I was an asshole in kindergarten because I knew every fucking thing. Kind of like now. But so it's all her fault. You can blame her. But no, my actual school, Robert Sanders Elementary School. You guys are gonna probably Google it, which is fine. But I love that school. It's so good. If I ever become rich and famous and wealthy enough, I'm donating like $10,000 to every school I went to.
Hey.
Yeah, and I really love Robert Sanders Elementary. It's so nice, and I think about it often because the way like I haven't been there in a very long time, but like. There was so much open fields, and it was just a really good place. And even when I left in the second grade to move to Ohio, I came back in the third grade, and everything was still the same. And I love that school so much. It was like my favorite school ever.
My real first school was the hood, and it was my house that taught me all the valuable lessons that I need in life, like keep your business inside.
Yeah.
And ting like that.
And never get high on your own supply.
Right, exactly. It's a school of hard knocks.
Yeah. Who, okay. Let's see. Who is your first friend? Not counting your family members, but who is your first friend?
Okay, not counting my sister, clearly. I'm older than her anyway.
Not people who you're related to.
Damn, that's hard because...
Yeah, cousins are technically your first best friends.
Those were like my first... Those were my dogs, though. Like, my cousins were my, like...
Same.
That's honestly what it is. It was my cousins.
Yeah.
My cousins, we were... So because my... And this is my mother's side. Some of my cousins on my father's side, too, but... My mother's side, really. So we, my grandmother and my grandfather had 8 kids. They were all stair-step. My mother's the youngest, my aunt's the oldest, and they're 9 years apart. So they're stair-step children, 8 kids. Everybody has at least minimum 2 kids. That's minimum. Some have 5. One got 12. I have 26 or 27 first cousins.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So, like, I had a group around me that we were all within, like, a year or 2 of each other. And even though we didn't live in it, like, we would spend summers together. You know, those are the people who I took baths with. We would play. Like, we got stories. My cousin Toya is always talking about how I'd wake her up to make me French toast before I was allowed to turn the stove on. Like, those were my first friends, my first cousins.
Yeah, my first are my cousins, but...
Not all of them, because I don't like all of them niggas.
Same. But I think outside of being relatives, my first friend was... probably Joshua. Yeah. He, and he listens to the show, actually.
Hey.
Yeah, we were friends in kindergarten. And it's so funny because he randomly found me on Twitter like a couple years ago. And mind you, we're friends on Facebook and stuff. But he was like, I haven't seen him in years, obviously, not since we graduated. But he was like, oh my gosh. He was like, you've always been so funny. And now I see you're actually doing it. I'm like, yeah, LOL, that's crazy. But yeah, it was dope. He stuck up for me when I punched this boy in the balls because he was making fun of me. He stuck up for me when I laughed at this other guy named Anthony for crying when he spilled his cereal. Which is funny because Anthony's birthday was not too long. It's like a couple days before mine. And we're friends on Facebook. So he'd be like, oh, happy birthday, friend from kindergarten. I'd be like, yes, LOL. And I always remember like, nigga, you cried when you spilled your milk, girl. Punk.
Let that nigga live that.
No. But yeah, Josh was my first friend. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What was your first school fight?
Oh, okay, so my first real fight? Okay. My first school fight was in 5th grade with a girl named Christina. Christina, like, So here's the thing about me. Like, I know I always talk, I talk a good game and all of that or whatever. I talk that because I can fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say because I like to fight. I know things happen to me, but I don't ever instigate. I don't like to instigate fights because I do like to fight, but I don't like to fight.
Right.
So at this point, I'm old. I am grown. Like, I can't be fighting. But I was minding my business, doing my work. I was in the gifted and talented program, minding my business, doing my work, just in the cut, doing my work. This girl just keeps coming at me, just keeps like with little digs and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, whatever. So I keep going, I'm doing my work, I'm minding my business, I'm ignoring her. She keeps coming, so I'm like,
I do's my work, Miss Ray.
So she says like a very generic your mother type of something.
Mm-hmm.
Christina's mother worked at the supermarket in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So she said some generic your mother comment, but as soon as I hear your mother, like, that's a trigger.
Yeah.
So I looked up and I was like, your mother rings up my mother's groceries. Christina was pissed. She was embarrassed. She was super embarrassed. So she said she was going to get me outside. She knew she was going to get in trouble if she tried to get me inside. She was going to get me outside. Soon as we stepped outside, she stepped to me and she was like, what did you say? And I said it again. Your mother rings up my mother's groceries.
Yeah.
She's like, and I remember this was so stupid. She was like, what would you do if I pushed you? I was like, I push you back. Like, what are we doing right now?
Right.
So the bitch pushes me. And from there, all I know is it took a couple teachers and they were pulling me off of Christina because I was banging Christina's head into like a piece of wood.
Wow.
That was my first school, like my first real fight.
Wow. Okay.
That's why I don't like to fight, because it always goes there. It always goes with somebody's head getting banged into something, and I'm trying to go for the jugular. Like, I'm trying to.
They're trying to die.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill you. I'm trying to get you off. I'm trying to exterminate you off this planet at this point, and that's all I can see.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like to fight.
That's very Drita of you.
I mean, I like a fair one. If you can fight, like, I like a fair one. But usually when people are coming at me, it's not fair, so.
Yeah. I've only had one fight in school.
One?
Yeah.
Like ever?
I said in school.
Yeah, in school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I only had one fight in school. And it's funny because it involves a girl. This guy thought that I was trying to steal his girlfriend. We were in the 5th grade. Okay. Mind you,
5th grade.
I knew who the fuck I was in the 5th grade. But whatever. So I was like, whatever, nigga. Like, I'm not trying to steal your girl. Like, I don't want her. He was
not Trey Songz.
Yeah, he was like, no, fuck you. I saw you flirting with her in class or whatever. I was like, she's my homegirl. Like, relax. And so he pushed me. And
I don't work with the males because I used to be one.
And so he pushed me, and then I pushed his head into those prickly weeds or whatever.
Yeah.
That sticks. So tackled him, pushed his face and all that.
Ooh, those are painful.
Yeah. So he said. And it's funny, the girl is my mother's banker now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bank
you
of
and
America.
Tasha. Come on, Bank of America.
Yeah. Yeah, she does my mother's finances at the B of A. Yeah.
Like, remember that time I had to mush that nigga and I didn't even like you?
Mm-hmm. And it's odd because my mother was like, do you know somebody named such and such? And I was like, girl, I don't know why. She was like, well, she said she knows you. I'm like, how do you know me? Like, how would she know? She's like, first of all, your last name is very distinct. And I was like, I guess, but she was like, the girl, she was like, you look just like this guy now. And me and my mother look exactly alike.
Yeah, y'all do. Ooh.
Right. So I was just like, oh, okay, I guess that case. Because I'm like, she was like, oh my God, how is he? I'm like, oh, don't tell niggas my business. was your first job?
I worked on my uncle's Mr. Softy ice cream truck.
Oh, I knew that information.
Yes, I did. And it was great. Niggas asking me all the time, do you eat all this ice cream? And I know you eat ice cream all the time. I did not. I actually got tired of ice cream. Now, every once in a while, I would make myself a nice little sundae. Do that because his ice cream was good. His mix was delicious. And I would do me a little one with some caramel and chocolate and some peanut, like extra peanuts and a little whipped cream. And that would be my little treat. I just do it in a little cup at the end of the day. Sometimes I do a little ice with a little ice cream mixed in, just like a little frozen creamy treat. But, you know, I mean, I was also like 11 or 12.
That's real.
It was fun though. Like, cause he would do the neighborhoods, but he would also do events. So he would do like track meets and things like that and go to where stadiums were and stuff.
That's where you make the money.
That's where you make the money and that's where you meet the niggas.
Ow.
So and I'm
Let
like,
me get an ice cream truck.
I'm like, and I ran tracks. I'm like, you know, sometimes you be at the meet and then sometimes you be working at the ice cream truck. And I'm like, everybody gonna come get some ice cream. I'm bringing all the boys to the yard.
Hey.
And that's what, you know, like 13. Because I did it with him for summers.
Yeah.
But that was the first job I had.
My first job. So I told you about my first friend Joshua, right? So it was like a trio. It was me and Joshua and David. So David's mom was one of those moms who were like, they were stay-at-home moms, but they found their way to like be involved in the school that they finessed their way into like a check, which is what, you know, parents usually do because they, anyway. So anywho, David's mom became like, she became a part of the school or whatever. And so like she ran like and it was weird because I used to go to tutoring when I was in like the 7th and 8th grade for algebra. And like I would go to my high school, well, my future high school at the time to get help from this girl named Lucretia. So I eventually became a tutor. And I got paid $10 an hour to be a tutor to the youth-dem in whatever subjects. But then my other job, like my real job, I was a lifeguard at the YMCA.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
I can't see you doing that again. Still, always. You say it.
Yeah. It was cool.
You just out here saving lives.
Yeah. I had to, and I actively get my CPR card replaced, like renewed or whatever. And mine just expired, so now I gotta redo it. But yeah. I'm one of those like saving lives niggas, but like I don't know why.
Me neither.
Because I just feel like there might be one moment where like my loved one is like choking or in need of help or something, and I need to know how to help them. That's why I carry Narcan wherever I go. Like if I see niggas who are like ODing, I know how to prevent them from overdosing.
That's real.
Like, cause in my head I'm like, yeah, okay, straight or whatever. But it's like, what if somebody like my family member or like, where I'm just like, oh damn nigga, now I gotta like make sure I gotta keep you alive.
That's real.
So I was like, yeah, all right, fine. But,
I did the CPR, but you know.
But it's helpful, like when you get trained to do like choking maneuver, like the
no, it is.
Because
shut up, Pooch.
Right, all my niggas like to eat, so it's like, well, girl, we should know.
Right. You know, and niggas love to choke on a fishbone every now and again.
Yeah.
So, and we got to stop telling niggas to get the bread.
Yeah.
Can somebody please learn the Heimlich maneuver? Just get a piece of bread.
Right.
Eat this bread.
Bread.
Like a bitch.
Bread. Bread cannot replace like life. What? Anyway,
I love us. I love us.
Your first apartment.
My first apartment.
Where was it? Like
it was in
city?
Houston.
Okay.
It was in Houston. And it was cute. It was real cute because I never lived on campus. I had my girl had her own. And I remember I bought No, I got a big brown couch from my homegirl and her husband because they had gotten a new couch and they had this big comfortable couch. So I got that from them, and I had like a bedroom full of furniture. I had a bed, I had a dresser, I had a TV, flat screen at the time, Samsung gray.
Yeah.
Had a DVD VCR player in that couch. And niggas would come, not niggas, but like niggas would come and like kick it. And my apartment was fun. I didn't have no furniture, but it was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
I had a lot of liquor. I cooked.
Yeah.
I had pots. I always moved in with pots. Right. My mother had a little she had a little housewarming for me, and people brought me like cleaning supplies. And even though housewarmings are technically, housewarmings are technically for when you buy a home, just so you know the proper etiquette. But she had like she's going to her own shit, because that's not the first time I lived away from my parents. Like I got kicked out early, but that was when I like got established and had my own first shit. And I think I was 20, and I had that was my apartment. My name was on the lease. I paid the deposit. I paid for my parking space. Like it was mine. Yeah. And I got it on the second floor so that I wouldn't be on the first floor. It was nice. And I lived by a Taco Cabana, which was really fun.
Ooh. Mine was when I lived off campus when I was in Connecticut, when I moved in with my homeboy and my homegirl. It was 3 of us. It was very short-lived because then I was like, I don't feel like paying rent, so I became an RA.
Okay.
Adulthood came really fast, and I just wasn't prepared.
It comes at you quick.
I was like, to the ghetto. I was like, too much data. So I just became an RA.
I didn't have a traditional, like, college
trajectory
youth experience kind of. I didn't really have that. Like, I worked my way through college. I paid for myself. I paid for myself to live. I didn't really have the dorm campus life. Like I had the campus life, but I started, I went to community college before I switched to a university to try to make my finances as reasonable as possible.
Which
I worked multiple jobs.
I wish I would have. Looking back, I wish I would have went to community college first and then figured it out later. Like that's what I wish I would have done. I wish I would have dropped out of school in high school and took the GED.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
Full disclosure, if nobody knows that, I'm sure I've said it before, but it's not that I had trouble with school. Like I said, I've been in the gifted and talented program since like 4th grade.
Yeah.
Honors classes all through school. However, I worked, and I've been working for a long time. And so it got to a certain point where as a teenager, I had already had jobs. Like I had a resume by that point. And I was like, I think I was 16 or 17 when I just officially like was quit, like dropped out. And so I was like, I went to my parents, like I did it at 16 because I was living in their house. I went to my parents and I said, listen, I'm working. And, school is, cool or whatever, but we're, you all are using other addresses to get us to go to better schools. And, this is not really like, this is, right. I could be working and I would much rather start my college career now. I was like, and I looked everything up. I said, listen, I can go here. I can take the GED. You know what I'm saying? I can get my GED and then I'll go straight to community college, and I will take my prerequisites, and then once I'm finished with my prerequisites, I will switch over to a university. And I was originally going to go to TSU, but I ended up going to U of H, and I was like, this is, and that's what I did. And I'm grateful that I had kind of a different experience, because it just makes for, I love to hear my friends' college experiences about them living on campus. And I would go visit my cousin, and I would go stay with her on her campus, or go visit friends, from classes, and go to their rooms and stuff like that. But it was nice to also have a different experience.
Right.
Because it just makes the world more colorful.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful I don't have no loans.
Oh, girl.
I am grateful for that.
That's
it's not a shot. I'm just grateful I don't have none.
Smoking with the boys upstairs when I heard about the whole affair. I said, whoa, no, William and Mary won't do now. Well, I did not.
Listen. Your first dance with a boy.
That wasn't a big deal to me, and I didn't go to any school dances, but I had house parties.
Okay, I'll cancel that. The first time you voted.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't. 18.
Do you remember what election it was?
What year was that? Hold on. I gotta do the math.
Well, so I could tell you for when you turned 18. You turned 18 in 2003.
2003.
Yeah.
And the next election was
2004.
So I was actually 19.
Gotcha.
2004 was
the second. That was the
second Obama? No.
That was second Bush.
Second Bush. And who was the Democrat though?
John Kerry.
I did Kerry.
Yeah.
I wasn't well versed at all in.
Right. Well, I mean, that's all we had.
I didn't.
Right.
I just went in there and was like Democrat.
Yeah.
Straight down.
My first election was when they fired the governor of California.
I know Obama. I was well and grown when
Yeah,
Obama got office.
We had like.
Listen, I did this out of civic duty.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I did.
Yeah. My first election was when they like impeached Gray Davis.
I voted for Ross Perot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Kidding.
Yeah. When they fired Gray Davis and Arnold Schwarzenegger first ran.
For governor.
Yeah. So California. That was my first election. The governor of California. Because Gray Davis sucked, and so they were like, "Okay, you're fired, nigga." And so then it was between the lieutenant governor and.
Oh, so you voted like a local.
Yeah, because that was the first. It was cool because I actually worked that election, and they allow you to vote like beforehand, and you get to work the polls. And stuff. Me and my homegirl Heather. Oh my gosh. Yeah, me and my homegirl Heather, we worked the elections because we were like, oh, you get paid $200. Oh, okay.
Amen.
$200 was a lot for an 18-year-old. So it's a lot now at 33. So oof. But I know. But yeah, that was my first election, and you know.
This is real and not for play. I'ma vote Obama way. We hood, we voting and throwing it up. This is real and not for play. I'ma vote Obama way. We hood, we voting and throwing.
I'm surprised you didn't ask the obvious first.
What?
Nigga, when you lost your virginity.
Oh no, I'm not interested in that.
Okay, perfect.
Who was your first? Oh, what was your first failure?
Ooh.
Virginities, that's lame. We're about that.
We are actually.
Yeah.
Because most of them niggas don't matter.
Nope.
Damn, my first failure. I'm sure that was Hurley.
Yeah. Like first, like, damn, I fucked up.
Damn. I want to say it's when I had a car. Nope. It was 9th grade, 10th grade. And I had a final. And for the final, it was for English, I believe. And for the final, we had to watch all 3 Star Wars movies. And I forget which book we had to read. And we were studying, like, who's the protagonist, who's the this, who's the that, just all the symbolism behind the characters and what they represent, and then who those characters are in each of those things. So in Star Wars, in that book, and it was something else. We went on a family vacation, and I kept putting it off and putting it off. And I must have been a freshman. I was 15. And I remember I went to my father the night before the final. And I was like, I gotta go to Blockbuster. And he was like, for what? And I was like, I gotta go rent some movies for school. I have for a project. And he was like, what movies? I said, all the Star Wars movies. He was like, oh, okay, bet. All right, let's go. Then he was like, when is this due?
Yeah.
I was like, tomorrow? My father wasn't a screamer, but he was a beater. Trigger warning, I guess. I got whooped. Like, I was not abused.
Yeah, he was a Taurus, for real.
I got whooped. No, yeah, he's very through and through, tried and true.
Yeah, we don't yell.
I tell Fran things about him, she's like, God, he's such a Taurus.
Yeah.
Because my dad's my nigga.
Yeah.
But he was a beater.
Yeah.
So, like, again, I was not abused. I got whooped.
Yeah.
It just what?
It was what it was.
If it makes you feel better, I got spankings. Severe spankings. So, and he didn't even really, like, at this point, I wasn't getting beat like that.
Right.
That nigga was like, what? He did not play with school. He was like, all right, bet. We went to go rent the movies, came back, and he was like, before you start, come here. Went to my room, closed the door. My mother always said every time I got beat, it sounded like David and the Angel wrestling. So he starts to talk to me about how wild this is, what I did. And I did.
Yeah.
And then that nigga pulled out a weight belt.
Ooh.
And got to work, and I was like, I'm screaming. I'm like, get the small belt! Get the small... He's like, oh, you want the small one? He got the small one, which was worse. So I went to... I had a couple bruises and, a couple welts.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to fix it. Even though I was wrong as hell, I said, I'm going to fix your ass. I'm wearing shorts tomorrow. But yeah, that's like the first time where I was like, damn, I deserve this. I fucked up.
Yeah.
Bigly.
Yeah. I have fucked up a lot in my life.
Oh yeah. No, you asked about the first time I can remember.
Yeah.
Hard body.
I can tell you just a story where I fucked up, where I fucked over a bunch of people, and it wasn't like. Okay, so anyway, I was in college, and at the same time, I just started YouTubing. So I was nice with the editing or whatever. So in this class I had, this African American families class, we had to do a group project. And for whatever reason, I had the most whites in my group, but whatever. So my idea was, because, hashtag overachiever, I said, oh, we should just make a video. I'll film and edit it. It's cool. Yada, yada, yada. And whatever. So we get together, we film some of the stuff. I had to make it cohesive, so I'm doing YouTube skits in it, I had a wig on or whatever, and it was cool. So the whole team loved it. When I showed them, and they were like, "Oh, this is great." But then at the night before, I was like, "We need to put some more stank on it." So I had did the Waiting to Exhale parody already by that time. So I decided to put that on the end. If you have not seen it, it's on YouTube. You can search the XD Experience and look up Waiting to Exhale parody, and you can find me. It's actually on my Instagram too. If you go in yesteryear, the highlights.
Yep.
It's there. And I tacked on at the end, and Dr. Stewart was like, yo, this is an A+ project. I was like, thank you. Yes. He was like, too bad I'm not going to give you an A+. He was like, you're responsible for everybody's grade because you did this. I was like,
So that's what made it not A+? Was
Yeah.
your add-on?
yeah. Oh, them whites were mad. He gave us an A-. But the point is the fact that like the way he presented it, like we didn't know what grade we got until it was posted weeks later. But he was so big and like he's tall. First of all, I'll have to tell y'all a story about that later because I just found out because one of my coworkers graduated from the same school I did, but like years later, and she told me the T on here, #MeToo, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
So,
Yikes.
but I mean, he used to go to the club with, let me not because people know him. So, but yeah, we didn't know what grade we got, but they were mad at me.
I know they were.
They were like, all right. So I was like, sorry guys. And they were like pissed to the point like defeated, like fuck. And especially the white students because he would pick on them literally because he's like, you know, y'all whites in these African American studies class, like, why is you here? So he gave them a hard time. So for me to like do this to like compromise, like whatever, they were just like, fuck. And I was just like,
Yikes. Sorry, guys.
I mean, I knew if I didn't get a good grade on the final, my grade would have been all right. But I was like, you know, whatever.
I'm going to be all right. I think we should do a part 2 to this.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, I fucked up royally.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah, let's do part 2 to this.
We can, because I have a lot more.
Yeah, let's do part 2.
Okay. So, but not next week, but another time.
Yes.
Okay. You ready to go?
Yeah, niggas.
Do you want to announce what we're not going to do anymore?
I'm sad.
Yeah. Okay. So, Nigga Peace Theaters, no more. Here's the thing, guys. We tried. The first one was really good. Like, we Rock With You story of Trevor and Bianca Davis. It was great. We tried doing it with the church story. We tried doing it with this one, but nothing ever seemed to capture the magic the first one did. And so we're going to just retire NPT.
Yeah.
We may revisit it, and it might be a take on a new iteration later on.
Yeah, you know, we're good for the alternatives and things.
Yeah, we're good.
Maybe we'll do it as short stories. Yeah. Short stories!
Yeah.
We'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But like, as of right now, Dolores, a.k.a. Miss Lola, she's...
I'll be the Jon Snow. Yeah. It's my fault. So, we had the break, and then I did the chapter, and then I asked XD last week, and he forgot, and this week I asked him, and he said... I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's rare for me.
I said, let me just stick the knife through it.
Yeah.
Let's just... you know what? So we're going to start fresh. We're starting a new quarter, maybe. And we are going to do some new things.
Yeah, we're coming up on 3 years.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, so we're going to try new things.
Yeah, like live shows.
Live shows and... YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you can check me out on If I Were a Rapper this week with Fran and Asante. Yeah, it's out today.
Yes.
Yeah, so if it's not out by the time you listen to it, it comes out by noon today. So yeah, it's gonna be a litty too titty. Fran sings in this episode, so.
Yeah, that is a rare nigga. Y'all better look for the eclipse.
We sang all episode, so you should go listen.
Go listen. And shout out to Asante.
Yeah, shout out to Asante. That was such a fun video shoot we did.
It really was.
Right. I mean, yeah. Everybody was like, so that's what y'all was doing. Yeah, nigga, like, we couldn't tell you. Like,
it was fun.
It was fun. We shot it 2 months ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yes. But, yeah, that's it for today.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
With the new iPhone SE for less than $100 at Metro, you rule. It's the most affordable iPhone on the #1 brand in prepaid. So whether you're studying online or FaceTiming.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, dear. The iPhone SE has all you need. Switch to Metro and get the iPhone SE for $99.99 after rebate redemption and 6 months of service with AutoPay. Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day. Limit 1 per account/household. Requires port and ID validation. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Okay, so you're between meals and you're craving something sweet, right? What I do is snack on Blue Diamond honey roasted almonds. They're so good. And almonds are a superfood. So don't deny your cravings. Eat them.
Blue Diamond almonds. Crave victoriously.